Hello and welcome back to National American Broadcasting Television, NABTV. This is NABTV 14, your local television station for Bridgeport, Connecticut. So right now we are going to talk about MGM Bridgeport, the casino that is to open, possibly. The debate is still going on in Hartford. So let's hear more of that.
That's great. All right, Senator, you guys do it. Senator? Oh, look at all the
Welcome, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. This is a very exciting opportunity for the city of Bridgeport and the city of New Haven and southwestern Connecticut and the state of Connecticut. We are here today with a historic announcement. It is the announcement of the only shovel-ready project that is over $1 billion of private investment, over $500 million, dollars of private investment in the state of Connecticut. And it is important that we understand all of the hard work that got us here today. I'd like to tell you that, over the last year and a half, we spent a lot of time in Connecticut, and we met with a lot of the state representatives from Bridgeport and New Haven. And for Bridgeport, it was very clear that all they wanted was a serious project that was shovel ready, a project that could go in the ground with a defined construction period. So I really would like to thank Representative Rosario, Representative Hennessy, Representative Santiago, Representative Stastrom, Representative Baker, Representative Briscoe, for all of the open doors that you gave us and the criteria that you laid out, which was plain. Jobs for Bridgeport, shovel-ready project, and we thank you for that direction. Also like to thank Senator Gomes. Senator Gomes, who had his door open to me every time I knocked on it, and all he cared about was quality jobs for labor, quality jobs for the city of Bridgeport. Very clear what his criteria was. And when we came to the table with a shovel-ready project, there the entire delegation was that had met with us, ready to support us. Also like to thank the Mayor of Bridgeport. The Mayor of Bridgeport, who welcomed this opportunity, the City Council President of Bridgeport, who welcomed this opportunity. Very clear. I have a funny story about the City Council President. He immediately started negotiating the $8 million for the city of Bridgeport. He was very direct on those points. And the mayor, who was very serious about, is this shovel ready? And to answer that question, we introduced him to our partners, RCI. RCI, who had invested in the city of Bridgeport way back in 2001 and held on through the recession and held on and kept every promise they made. And they looked at MGM as an opportunity to bring a world-class entertainment destination to a city that not only needed it, but that had been preparing for it for a while. And so we're thankful to our partners, the Kristoff family, and all of what you've done for Bridgeport. I'd also like to acknowledge the city council members who are here, who have also opened up their understanding as to the impact that this project would have on the state of Connecticut and on the city of Bridgeport. We got a warm welcome when we met with Mayor Hart from New Haven, and we talked to her about the way that MGM develops to benefit its communities. And we talked about Workforce Development Center, to make sure that we were training all of the technicians, to make sure that we were training all of the people with the skill set that would be invaluable not only for MGM, but for all of the employers in the state of Connecticut, and locating that Workforce Development Center in New Haven. And she was very much on board, so we thank her. And the aldermen from New Haven who are here today, who are also supportive and who we'll spend more time with. Today we announced the beginning of a project. We announced a project that is the only shovel-ready project in the state of private dollars but we know that it has to have a green light from Hartford. We understand it. We spent a lot of time working, and we understood the policy criteria. We understood that Hartford needed license fees that were serious and direct. So we offered $50 million in license fees for this budget cycle. Cash. Few companies come with that promise, and here my chairman is to back it up. We also understood part of the criteria was jobs. So we're committing ourselves to 2,000 direct hires. But even before that happens, there'll be thousands of construction jobs with a 30-month construction window. And those jobs are ready to take root immediately as soon as we get the green light from Hartford. And so here, with no further delay today, I'd like to thank Bob Proto and Unite Here, who's been a tireless partner, has come and told us what the reality was and what jobs really mean and the quality of those jobs being critical. I'd like to thank Pete Carroll, whose building trades members we know will put to work as soon as we get the green light from Hartford. And so with no further ado, I'd like to welcome one of Bridgeport's own, the chairman of MGM Resorts International, Jim Murren.
Well, good morning, everyone. You doing all right today?
Yeah.
It's really exhilarating for me to be back here in Bridgeport, the city where I was born, and in the community that I grew up in. I spent my entire youth here. I went to college in Hartford at Trinity College, and it's kind of a homecoming. So before I get going, hey Mom. Mom lives in Bridgeport, 3030 Park Avenue. Mom, I bet you wouldn't have believed this when you were changing my diapers way back then. So the first chapter really started before then. It began when my family came to the United States. Of course, they immigrated from Ireland, leaving that country, came to Castle Garden and then Ellis Island, where my great-grandfather was met by his sister, and they came here to Bridgeport, where he raised his family. By the way, he owned a saloon on State Street, and he raised 4 children, one of which became a dentist and the first president of the Connecticut Dental Association. His son, my dad, went to St. Anne's here in Bridgeport, then went off to Fairfield Prep, became a lawyer, and practiced law here in Bridgeport and in Fairfield. My story is a lot like thousands and thousands of people here, not only in Bridgeport, across the state, families that were striving to succeed, to build a better life for themselves, for their children, and to provide opportunities that they didn't have. But I have to say, when I look at my home state, I have to ask myself, what is happening? Is this the best that we can do? Corporate headquarters, corporations leaving the state, taxes continue to rise, jobs not being created, and these very courageous elected leaders trying to agree on budgets and a path to economic development. It's frankly heartbreaking to see for me. But that is why today is so meaningful for me and my family. I have the privilege to actually take part in an economic recovery right here in the community where I grew up. And the Kristoff family shares my passion for Bridgeport and the families who call it home. Their dedication to Steel Point is evident all around us, and I have to say I am absolutely ecstatic to be your partners. Thank you very much for your courage, your dedication to Bridgeport and the state of Connecticut. Thank you. Now MGM, We've had an interest in doing business in Connecticut for quite some time. As many of you know, we have not been shy about talking about that. We're interested in stabilizing Connecticut's finances and strengthening its largest city in the region, creating jobs and economic expansion. MGM Bridgeport is the right development at the right time in the right place, and here's why. It begins, as you heard, with a $50 million check to the state for this fiscal year, fiscal 18, and more than $600 million of capital investment. That will bring substantial benefits at a time when Connecticut's fiscal challenges are causing a hardship and honestly uncertainty throughout the state. And that's just the beginning. MGM Bridgeport will mean more than 7,000 jobs in the area and $1.2 billion in total income for workers by 2019. We will make that $8 million commitment to Bridgeport in annual payments and $4.5 million more to the surrounding communities. We will build a workforce development and training center in New Haven as part of this initiative, and we will tap into that city's great workforce by providing training for good jobs here at MGM Bridgeport. And at MGM, past is prologue. If you want to know what we'll do, look at what we have done. Our jobs bring competitive salaries, excellent benefits, and promising prospects for career advancement. I am proud to say that we pioneered corporate social responsibility in our industry, and it is, for us, a critical part of our business. You can look to Detroit, or Maryland, or even neighboring Massachusetts, and you will see that we take very seriously the opportunity to have an impact on the communities in which we operate. And that is why we're so excited at what we can do here. And that's, folks, the bigger story. MGM has become one of the world's most diverse and sought-after entertainment brands. We have high standards and core values that are unshakable. And I believe we are a valued partner, particularly in urban communities. We want to be here in Connecticut, and we want to be in Bridgeport. And I believe that this project can help turn the economic tide in the state. We just need the political commitment to make that happen. It is, I guess, the circle of life. For me, it began in Bridgeport, and I'm looking forward, personally and professionally, in having a hand in writing the next chapter in the history of this great city and this great state. Thank you very much.
Now very excited to introduce to Bridgeport someone that the city knows, the mayor knows, the residents know, and this is Mr. Robert Christoph Sr., the developer of Steel Point.
Thank you. It's a special treat to be here today, and it's a very special day for Bridgeport, for Seaview, and for the city of Bridgeport. In fact, it's a wonderful day for every hardworking family in the entire state of Connecticut. We're thrilled to be here and stand with our partners, MGM Resorts International, to announce our partnership's commitment to develop on this site, MGM Bridgeport, a first-class resort and entertainment destination. We could not have a better partner, and for that, my appreciation and thanks goes out to Chairman Jim Moran, Bill Hornbuckle, and the entire MGM team. Thank you very much. As many of you know, RCI's belief in Bridgeport goes back many years, has been steadfast and unwavering. When others walked away, We have stayed true to our word and stood by our commitments. We have promised and not compromised our visions, and we will not settle for second rate or second best or good enough. Bridgeport deserves the best. So today is special because MGM Bridgeport is a property designed, privately funded, entertainment waterfront destination that will produce long-term, positive economic progress and success for Bridgeport as well as the entire state of Connecticut. This focus is rightly founded by creating thousands of new jobs, and it is special because it's based upon a proven economics which will bring long-term prosperity to the families of Bridgeport and to the entire state of Connecticut. We're excited about that. As always, we look forward to work with all of you to secure the required approvals so that this privately funded project, investment of over $500 million, MGM Bridgeport can proceed without any further delay. The Bridgeport Renaissance is happening, and with MGM Bridgeport in the heart of Steel Point Harbor and the city of Bridgeport, we are ready, willing, and hopefully enabled to in fact go the next steps and together create Bridgeport as one of Connecticut's most dynamic cities. MGM Bridgeport is the right project, and now is the right time. Thank you.
I want to introduce our next speaker, who, when we sat down to talk about the Workforce Development Center, had just an abundance of ideas and passion for real job training, for jobs that were available. The idea of having computer programming jobs, the idea of having real front of the house jobs, executive jobs, all of those were within the concept that she shared with me, that I shared with her. We had a really good discussion. And so Mayor Harp from New Haven, will you please come and share a few words with us?
Thank you very much. First of all, to Mayor Ganem and to the MGM leadership, to the Christophs, and especially to Bobby Proto, who is the head of Unite Here. But in New Haven, we don't do anything without our Board of Alders, and to our president of the Board of Alders, Taisha Walker, and to Alder Winfield. And if it doesn't take a village, my great friend in the Senate, Senator Gomes, it's good to see you this morning and to see that you led the charge in the General Assembly. And to my colleagues, many of whom I sat on the Appropriations Committee with, and you know, my heart goes out to you. But at any rate, one of the things that we're learning, good morning everybody, one of the what we're learning is that we really have a vibrant region and opportunity between Bridgeport and New Haven. There are a lot of things that can happen in between and in both areas if we work together. So I'm very pleased to be among all of you today and to be a part of this milestone event. There is one phrase to encapsulate my support for this project, which will benefit Connecticut's two largest cities, and that phrase is jobs creation. This prime waterfront parcel is meant to be a destination, and upon completion of this project, it will be. Among those who will be here at this facility are the many, many employees it will take to operate and staff this facility. Employees who will have to be trained at a sister site in New Haven, and we are thrilled to be a part of this project. The high drama that played out in the Capitol late last week underscores the unique circumstance in which Connecticut finds itself at this point in time. bold initiatives that engage private capital that will yield significant revenue in the public sector over time are needed. This is that initiative, and this is why I'm supportive of it. And I look forward to working with all of you to see to it that we don't once again shoot ourselves in the foot, but that we move this state forward.
I don't think Mayor Ganem needs an introduction. Mayor Ganem.
Thank you so much. Thank you. To follow and to thank and to welcome the Mayor of New Haven here and your Board of Alder. It is my pleasure, and we're so delighted to work together on so many things, but particularly on this today, at this time when our cities and our state need just what you said, which is boldness in the right direction. And to welcome Jim to you back to your hometown, St. Anne's School. My children went there. We can go on and on, it sounds like, after hearing your story about Bridgeport, your ties to us, to New Haven, as you mentioned to me before, your ties to Hartford with school, Connecticut. And it's such a pleasure to welcome you back in partnership with the Christophs. The father, as I refer to him, and I go back, I guess almost 2 decades. Jeez, Bob, I'm aging you. And the kid here, I think he's taken over, but they've done a tremendous job at moving a vision for Bridgeport on the waterfront, and now in partnership with you, it's wonderful to add this excitement here. There's a lot that can be said, but it boils down to, as the mayor said, and as if it's not self-evident, let's just say it again. This is about not just exciting entertainment for Bridgeport, New Haven, and for Connecticut along the waterfront, but it's about jobs. It's about thousands of jobs. The numbers that are being mentioned, some 6,000 jobs in the construction phase, which will span, I'm sure, months, if not into years, and then thousands of permanent jobs trained in the great city of New Haven, and participating in meaningful employment to raise families, to buy homes, and to live out not just the Connecticut dream, but the American dream. And so however we get there at these challenging times, our cities are doing great things under great leadership, but we're challenged every day. And our state, as was mentioned by the mayor, is at a critical juncture where, when traveling around the state, I hear from even what we might refer to as affluent or rich towns worried about having enough money for education. Never mind, it's not just the cities that are struggling. It's how am I going to have enough money to continue to pay for teachers and to keep taxes down and provide for services. So this creates an opportunity not just for our cities, but for our state. And $50 million, I mean, these are real numbers that are being mentioned, up to close to $300 million a year in potential revenue to the state of Connecticut from this development project, $675 million of capital investment on this site. And then I think I heard him right after talking to the council president, $18 million to the city of Bridgeport. Is that the number? I just want to make sure you're right. And Tony Harp hasn't even started to negotiate yet. We're off to a great start. So I'd ask, as we have our legislators here who've struggled, literally through the night, trying to find answers, challenged, courageous individuals, put to the test of how to make Connecticut whole on a budget basis, and then how to project a vision, a positive vision for our state. I put to you today, those that are listening beyond sitting under this tent, beyond the hundreds of people that are here in Bridgeport today, from Bridgeport, New Haven, and the region, that this is an opportunity for Connecticut. This is an opportunity to grab what could be, I think, a creator for jobs, a instant opportunity for revenue for a state that sorely needs it, and to move an agenda forward here in Bridgeport with New Haven and for all of Connecticut cities and towns. I hope we can do this. I hope we can make it happen. There's too many people out there that are hurting, that need an opportunity. We're here collectively to try and create that opportunity to make what is a difficult situation in Connecticut a better one, and to move our cities, and our state forward. So thank you for being here. Welcome back to Bridgeport again. We look forward to great things. We are behind you 100% to make this happen. The city of New Haven is here. That's a tremendous signal, not just to us in Bridgeport and the region, but to the state and our legislators as well. Thank you so much.
We are going to take a few questions, but before we do that, as the mayor said, this is really about jobs. At the end of the day, it's not about MGM, it's not about Steel Point, it's not about all those things as much as it is about good paying jobs with benefits, the kind of jobs that my mother raised me on back in Las Vegas, the kind of jobs where you can work one shift and have the resources to educate your children and to dream about buying a home. This is about jobs. So I would be remiss if I didn't ask Bobby Proto from Unite here to come and say a few words.
Thank you, everyone. This is an exciting day. I want to first start off by thanking the Kristoff family for their commitment. I want to thank Mayor Ganem, Mayor Harp. I want to thank Jim Murin. I want to thank Bill Hornbuckle for their dedication. This is a special day that we're here right now, even talking about Bridgeport being a destination. And the fact is, I'm here to testify on what it means to have MGM as a partner. We are partners with MGM across this country, and we have thousands and thousands of workers under contract. As Yuri Clinton, who I also want to thank, mentioned, our workers have good pay, benefits, and can sustain paying family bills, right, and taking care of their children the way they should be taken care of, and having, medical benefits. And the fact is that what's also important is our brothers and sisters are here from the building trades, because it will be the building trades that are going to be putting the shovel in the ground here. And once it's completed, we will have people working inside this first-class resort, which will have an amazing hotel, an amazing casino, amazing restaurants, and an amazing theater. It is something that will be the gem of a state that needs a shot in the arm. We need economic income to come into Connecticut, and so I stand here in full support, because I know there's going to be some navigation. I know there's going to be some political back and forth. The fact is, somebody's going to have to jump in front of our train. Someone's going to have to realize that Connecticut needs this, that Connecticut needs an influx of private capital. Connecticut needs job creation. And that's why we're going to do everything in Unite here to make sure that this project comes to light. So I want to thank everyone once again. Thank you.
We've got time for a few questions.
Yuri, you've been lobbying for more than the last year, telling the Connecticut General Assembly that the only way it should consider the expansion of gambling is to have a process that would involve open competition. Is that what you're going to be asking the General Assembly for now?
Well, the General Assembly decided that they wanted to look at projects specifically. And so now we've spent time, we've invested money, and we've come up with partnerships that will give them the best project. A project that really is shovel ready, a project that really is already funded, a project that really already has partners and momentum. So we're going to be asking for approval of this project.
What is your biggest political obstacle?
Well, I think actually there is already momentum gathering. You see the representatives who are here. There are representatives from the New Haven area, representatives from the surrounding areas, and representatives who just simply want to see what's best for Connecticut. So I'm not quite sure. I'm sure as soon as I leave this microphone, my cell phone will blow up and I'll know what the obstacles are, but the train is moving fast.
What are you going to, the question certainly will come up, how much of the lost revenue from the slots from the two tribes you guys can make up? And what would be the assumptions behind that as far as taxes?
Yeah, we're looking for a competitive tax rate. The state of Connecticut has said that they're interested in commercial casinos at 25%. We understand that that tax rate may not apply here. We're looking to make the Connecticut budget whole, starting with a $50 million check and then having a market-ready tax rate that makes sure that there isn't a loss of revenue, but that we're increasing revenue.
Then what's the assumption? When you say you make it whole, they're at, I don't know, 280 and falling and what that has been. So what can you guys, what are you saying you can generate off of a commercial site?
We have a pamphlet, Representative Rosario, that has an Oxford economic study that answers all of the economic questions. And additionally, as you know me, we'll be releasing a full Oxford economic study that will go into detail as to the variations, comparing this project to other development projects, comparing this tax revenue stream with those other streams. And so you have the initial high-level report in that pamphlet. You'll get more information on our website, which is mgmconnecticut.com, and there'll be a lot more information to come as we go back to Hartford, and we're going to Hartford to have this debate and to have this discussion about the economic ramifications of the project.
So what's the number you're saying you can?
It's in the booklet.
Well,
I don't want to spoil the page turn. I'm sure you will.
What exactly?
Hold on. Yes, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have an MGM in Springfield, another one in Bridgeport, and you're gonna have an Indian casino in East Windsor. How much more gambling can we have in this area sustain?
Yeah, so there's a few different points for you. One, the market that this project is facing is the New York market with 8.5 million people, which is heavily underserved from a gaming perspective. They have 2 Racino casinos, mind you, that don't have any of the amenities that are planned for this project. And so we're looking at the New York market as the primary market for this casino.
Well, the New York market was the primary market for the first Indian casinos in Connecticut. Their revenue has come down quite considerably since New York started having its own casinos.
Well, here's a really good point. We are 62 miles from New York City. We are accessible by rail. We're accessible by high-speed ferry from Long Island. The primary market for this casino is New York, includes New York, not the secondary market as in the other casinos. Next question.
You said Long Island, very much like a native.
I am from the West Coast, but I spent a lot of time here.
What precisely are you looking for from the legislature? Are you looking for them to just to open it up and say, we're done with the compact, let's have casinos on a ad hoc basis, or are you looking for them to say, we have a deal with MGM over here?
I won't speak for the General Assembly. There are representatives here who have a better thought process of what might be good for a statewide policy on gaming infrastructure and tourism infrastructure. What I will say is we're going there with a shovel-ready project with a $50 million check payable this fiscal year, and we're going to ask for approval of that project.
But does this not blow off the compact?
Hold on one second.
If the state approves it, what's the time frame you're looking at? How soon can you start, and then what about completion?
Yeah, absolutely. We have historically agreed to 30-month construction windows, and we would offer the state of Connecticut that same. That this isn't a project where we say, oh, we're interested, but we may have a delay. This is a project that, with the exception of acts of God, will be complete in 30 months. That's important because it shows when the building trades start working, and then it also shows when the culinary union gets their employees in the door, as well as when the state can expect its first gaming revenue from taxes from this project.
So the 200.
Oh, over here?
Will MGM keep fighting the state on East Windsor moving forward?
I didn't hear the question.
Will MGM keep fighting the state over East Windsor moving forward?
Yeah, we will. Absolutely. I got two more questions right here.
Hi, Your Honor. I just want to say congratulations on tremendous momentum and thanks to the Kristoff family for making their money work for Bridgeport. But you're sitting with two of the most greenest mayors in the state. And I have to ask, because I just came over from Seaview, which is the first 100% green infrastructure, energy, heating, and cooling, which creates jobs, which is a real exciting opportunity for Seaview Village. Is that a policy you can find?
Absolutely. I'm sitting with two of the greenest mayors and the greenest chairman in the gaming industry. We understand about environmental sensibilities. We understand about building buildings that don't leave bad footprints. And so that's been what we've done. As the chairman said, if you want to judge us, you should go back and I'll provide it. As everybody knows, I provide a lot of information. We'll provide information on our footprint, how we build. One last question.
Jerry, New York.
Right here. You can talk to me after. I'm there. Right here.
You have a lot of casinos that are opening all throughout the Northeast. What will you have here that will differentiate you, that will make you a draw?
Absolutely. Number one, I didn't want this tent, but I was told that we had to have it. This beautiful waterfront development. The Kristoffs are planning for Steel Point high-end residential, retail, a harbor area. So the scenic view will be first rate for a casino in this region of the United States. Then we have a mix of what we call a true integrated resort. So the casino floor is part of the economic anchor, absolutely. But the hotel tower, the 6 restaurants, the bars and lounges, the outdoor terrace, the indoor entertainment. This is an opportunity to really create a destination in Bridgeport. And so that's what we think will differentiate us. We know New York has 2 casinos closer to New York City, but they are racinos. No disrespect to racino owners, but they don't have anywhere near the same amenities that are planned here. And we're looking forward to train people with skill sets that will make them employable for this project. So without question, you guys can all reach me. I'll be around, something tells me. And we thank everybody for their turnout here today. Thank you very much.